Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Piglet here from the Maxi Toys, and welcome back to my last play of Kororinpa for the Nintendo Wii. So last time we actually digging into one of my least favorite worlds, Toyland. Even though this world wasn't too bad, but it's just the level layout is a little bit mishmash far between. And today, for this episode, we're about to be showing off the finale of this game's playthrough, even though I wish I was going to show you some extra stages like the space levels and the secret Kororinpa levels, but unfortunately I just want to move on to the next playthrough in the franchise on our channel. So we have 41 to 45 levels right here, so let's start in particular order for this little point right here. We have Night Town. So here we have Hexagon of Fear 2, just a bit more, Risky Tightrope, Crossroads of Fate, and lastly, Climb to Heaven. So, yeah, this was predictably the last main world of the game, so yeah, let's get this thing started then. So yeah, let's go ahead and select our, easy marble and just, yeah, groups up with this. So yeah, let's get started. So the first level we have is Hexagon of Fear 2, which is a sequel to the first Hexagon of Fear when you actually played that level in Toyland. But except a lot more difficult, and plus not to mention there was gonna be not so easy obstacles this time around, so instead we have to deal with just a lot of trickier segments here. So yeah, as far as you guys already know, that this level is predictably one of the hardest main worlds of the game. This environment of this world is very much exactly similar or identical to Daytown. Like, as far as the environment, if you actually look closely on this little screen here, or in this case the capture screen right here, like, it's basically, just equivalent to Daytown, but except rather than it's actually day, but that was actually nights, or in this case a nighttime version of that, and because of that though it has some neon lights back into it, so yeah, that's actually pretty cool stuff. Anyways, enough about that, so let's go ahead and move on to the next level, just a bit more, which was number 42 is coded as a level, so yeah, let's get this thing going. So, a few things I just want to explain that, well, recently today, that Mario Luigi Paper Jam Brothers came out today, at least it only came out yesterday in Japan. Like, usually that, Japan always goes first, although some of them first, like Mario Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, Japanese version goes first, and then English versions later. It wasn't the Mario Luigi Dream Team Brothers, I believe the UK version comes first. Just like how it does in, I'm presuming in Mario Party 9, which as far as I'm aware though, that's usually can get. Anyway. Alright, so things started to get a little bit trickier because we have to deal with these really narrow paths, because if I fell off into one of those narrow paths to begin with, then I will basically going to fall off. But before we go to continue on, we have to go there because that's where the green crystal is located. As far as you guys already know at this point, is that the grand total of green crystals there are a grand total of 45 of them. Not 50 for including the space levels, or in this case, let's see, 65 from the secret Kororinpa levels. So, but even then, that it will make a bit more shorter collective bonds of green crystals. But at least it will expand a bit more in the sequel. So yeah. But yeah, that was just a bit more. And now we move on to the trickier levels, level 43, Risky Tightrope. The reason why I say this level is quite literally tricky is because, well, of the middle segment of the level, which we're about to go ahead into. But otherwise though, I'm sure able to just be very, very, very carefully with this little motion control Wii remote type of gimmick. And I believe this is the part I was talking about. Basically, we have to carefully maneuver the this little curves along with this narrow road, because if I fell off, well, I have to restart the point where the checkpoint is, like for instance right there. And that could be pretty much difficult for actually just to deal with it, because sometimes you have to be super precise with just the balance of it. And I believe that's all I can just to know about. So anyway, for while playing Mario & Luigi Paper Jam Brothers, it's pretty much exactly like Dream Team Brothers, like the same visuals or what have you, but except with a newest edition, although technically it's sort of similar mechanics as it does it from Partners in Time and Bowser's Inside Story. In this case, mostly Bowser's Inside Story, you have 3 playable characters and such. And yeah, even though the world themes wasn't as aesthetic as the ones in the previous entries in the series, but it's good enough for me, I suppose. But it's way too different than the ones in the other Mario & Luigi RPG games that it usually takes place in this interesting environment. But I guess they just want to like take a break from this stuff for now, I suppose, I'm assuming. Okay, this last part can be pretty tough. Oh god, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Let's see if I can just do this in a little better attempt this time. I actually kind of think about it, whenever I play this on my own time, sometimes I spend about this level for almost like 4 minutes, because my god, that last part right there is so impossible to complete in. But after about a couple of attempts or whatever, then I'm basically going to deal with this level no problem. But the really trickiest part is just this little narrow paths and stuff like that. But yeah, that's just me. Anyways, next level we have is 44, Crossroads of Fate. Now here's a little bit different compared to the other levels of throughout this game has to offer, that using the other levels you actually have to collect all of these orange crystals in order to make it to the goal. But in this level mostly, that there's no orange crystals to be collected. So it's just basically going through point A to point B type of level, like maneuvering some alternate routes, or in this case some little secret routes that you can take through. And even though they only contain like only 1 green crystal, and that's about it when it comes to that. Oh, I'm almost going to dive into the goal right there, which if I somehow touch the goal, well, I was like, although it won't be easier just to actually drop all the way down from the highest height, because well, obviously the fact is just that, well, if you fall off in the highest height, you will automatically just to say miss, like this one right here. So sometimes you have to be a little more likely just to be precise in that. I need to know where the green crystal is, but even then, it's been a while since I actually played this game since then. Okay, so let's see. I think it's over about 3 years ago since I actually played this game, or usually more often than that. So anyways. Okay, so looks like there's no way I can get those, so there's no way I can get a green crystal from that little decision, or in this case a little stuff that I usually could think of. There's a little bit of tricky objects involving, and like, for instance, if you have to watch out for the... Oh, no. Ah, god, I have to restart the level, because I don't want to spend over this level for 3 minutes. Because without that, then I basically won't able to guarantee that I won't get a trophy for that. Anyway, so where you're actually supposed to get the green crystal from is this way. So, oh, no. I just need to get a green crystal, but at least I did touch that. Anyways, now we collected that. Now let's move on to and hit the end of the level. So that only took about technically 2 minutes for this level adjustments. Alright, so we got 1 more level left until we actually finish this entire playthrough. Before we actually anything else, yeah, I only got about 44 green crystals, so they're going to 45. So here we go, Climb to Heaven, the last main level of the game, at least if you actually play the main game of the, well, the Kororinpa game. So, and I'm presuming this is have to be one of the hardest levels throughout the game, one of them. And because of that, though, there was a lot of emphasis on trial and error, and plus, not to mention, some really finicky, narrow roads. And most annoyingly, or mostly annoyingly to me, is that the giant slant and it actually gives us a big amount of holes. That was like bottomless pit heavy. On this case, the motion controls can be a little bit finicky at points. But anyways, enough about that motion controls type of things. But I'll discuss that when we actually finish the entire level of this. Again, this checkpoint can be a little bit of a problematic. I wonder if I can just try to get to the shortcut there. It doesn't work. It doesn't work on me. This music is really catchy though. It's almost like a little it almost kind of reminds me of something almost related to the Mario game, to be honest, like the Mario 3D World, for instance, for that little music piece, I'm presuming. Or in this case, the little Empire City vibe from Sonic Unleashed. So, you know. Ah, god. Stupid knockback. Anyway, but we're almost done here. The last part we have to do is just in the movement of the this little stair bits when you're actually trying to not to fall off the level entirely. So that even then though, every once in a while, then you should able to just maneuver this no problem whatsoever. So yeah, that concludes all of the levels in Kororinpa, at least in the main world, or the main story throughout the game, even though there's literally no story to that. But oh yeah, by the way, once you actually completed level 45, you actually go to unlock the mirror mode. It's basically, you know how it does it in the Mario Kart games, you actually unlock the mirror mode? It's kind of like that, but except it's all flipped, so I won't able to tackle for that mode. Because it's pretty much exactly the same as it does it for the regular mode, but even then it's basically the same. So overall from Kororinpa for the Nintendo Wii, that it's not a bad game though. It's just that, well, let's just talk about the positive things about this game first. The only positive thing I can think of about this game is that the level layout is actually pretty convenient, and as well as the music is really, really good. Although one I found is really forgettable is the one in the Let's Have Fun in Toyland. But even then, the music is really, really good though, and great to listen to. And also the gameplay itself is almost kind of reminds me of like a Super Monkey Ball vibe. But there's no jumping and what have you. Although there is though, while flicking the Wiimote upwards, but at least it might be a little bit easier to pull it off. And yeah. So yeah, and the visuals do look really, really good, especially the Nintendo Wii's title for that visual structurally. But the only negative things I can think of with this game is that the controls sometimes might be a little bit too finicky, or else it did fix that in the sequel, which we'll definitely do that until next year at some point. And also that, well, I think that, well, Toyland will have to be one of my least favorite levels of the, least favorite worlds of the game. And even though that world is not too bad, but at the same time, it can be downright frustrating at times. But anyways, that concludes our Let's Play of Kororinpa, at least a remade playthrough of this game. That I hope you guys do enjoyed that. And, yeah, as you guys probably can tell already from, as I said before and countless times in the previous parts, that the next playthrough, or in this case the next remade Let's Play coming up until next year, that definitely is going to do a remade playthrough of Marbles Balance Challenge, aka, Marble Soccer Kororinpa. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This is me, Piglet, from the Maxi Toys, and join me next time on the next new remake Let's Play as well. So see you guys then. Bye!